For my portfolio revisions, I revised my three body paragraphs and I added sources to each paragraph to be able to satisfy the requirement of synthesizing sources throughout the essay. For the first body paragraph, my original source I used was from Michael Harriot on his book Black AF History, the Unwhitewashed Story of America, where he talks about the history of America and how before colonialism, African Americans had their impact, and even after, African Americans played a role in shaping the foundation and just coming of America. The second source I added was from Bill Traylor, a self taught artist. He was, or he used his artwork as his voice to depict the racial terrorism that occurred where he was from, and which was, or he would label it as Jim Crow America, where lynching was still a thing. And this is the source I used where it talks about during this time or during his adult life, lynching was at its peak, and he brought awareness to it through his art. And basically, his art showed what many may not know about Black people and their history with slavery, racism, and oppression. For my second paragraph, my original source was from Vera Jasmine Griffin on her book Read Until You Can Understand. I took a, or I used a video from CUNY TV Black America where she's interviewed about her book, and she talks about how the founding of America is only seen from a surface level, basically to where in history books we only know about the founding fathers such as Thomas Jefferson, and how African Americans aren't really talked about in history books when it comes to the founding of America, when they did play a part in the foundation of America. And for the second source I used Jessica B. Harris, an African American culinary historian and author. I used her book High on the Hog, where she talks about how African American cuisine shaped America. And I took a video from, it's not part of the Netflix documentary, but it's a YouTube video where they talk a little bit about the Netflix documentary that is based off her book, which is called High on the Hog, How African American Cuisine Transformed America. And this is the source I used for it. This is the video. They just talk about how African American cuisine started from cultures in West Africa and were brought to America, which shaped American culture to what it is today. And for my third body paragraph, I used the MSRC. I used this for the idea of how databases preserve Black history and how we're able to still uncover things that aren't like that we aren't able to get from a simple Google search, and how they're connected like how Howard database is connected with other HBCUs so that we are able to get as much information as we need on things that just aren't known to the public for real. And then for the second source I used, this was my original source. Both of these were my original source. But what I added to expand onto this source I used using Felicia Rashad, who I was able to find through the MSRC. And what I found out was she was the Dean of the College of Fine Arts at Howard. And she was the first Black woman to win a Tony Award for Best Actress in 2004, which shows how it is possible for Black people to be successful in what once was or what once were white dominated fields, and goes to show how reading and research can help us be able to find things that just aren't, like, find out about Black achievements that aren't really talked about. And yes, that's about it.